All right, Danny from the Stop. Everybody knows him. Friend of the show. Look in the description. You can subscribe to him. He's been here plenty of times.
He's a good brother.
He's top of the. He's one of the top. He's at the top of his game in terms of covering Joe Budden content. And recently, Joe Budden just bleeped out his name. You know, Joe's done. They've had an interesting content relationship over the last couple months, or however long Danny's been doing his Joe Budden specific geared content, and it's I would say their relationship and just that in just overall Danny's involvement in the Joe Budden universe has been elevated extremely since he's really doubled down on the Twitter Spaces.
Yes,
because the Twitter Spaces have just turned into their own separate monster where
you go into the street corner and talking to the real people.
We don't even. Joe Budden and them don't even have to podcast. Danny could do videos off the space.
Yeah,
you know, so
there's so many different characters in there.
And it's available to everybody, and everybody has fallen through. Joe has come through several times. Rory, bro, it's just
crazy.
Everybody, bro.
Danny has built like a real community.
100%.
Like he's built a sub community.
Yeah,
you get what I mean?
A little mini cult. I don't even know what people use spaces for other than to talk about Joe Budden.
Because the honesty,
but that just might be my worldview right now.
I mean, that's essentially my worldview too. Because I'm not in there for no other conversation.
Yeah,
I didn't like Clubhouse, so I'm. This is the most I've ever done, like one of these audio interface, whatever this. I've heard Danny describing this.
It's collaborative conversations.
Yeah, audio online, whatever the fuck it's called. But
their relationship is one-sided though. It's like you know, like hey.
No, I think it's two-sided. But go ahead.
You think it's two-sided?
100%.
Like how so?
They work off each other perfectly to where if Joe wants some content out of the nigga, like he knows what to feed him by facilitating the Danny vs. Chiggs thing going on, which is going to be referenced in this video. Okay. But it's like, yeah, Danny's name gets mentioned on the show once. But that's how this all started. Joe bleeped Danny's name in a podcast and then called him a beta male, or pretty much said that community is a bunch of beta males.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Microsoft Word niggas.
Yeah, so let's not even do too much. We just got to get right into it because you gotta hear Danny.
And bleeps Danny from the Stop's name out.
You can't miss out on his intro.
Joe Budden bleeps Danny from the Stop's name out and calls him a beta male. That's right, on a recent episode of his mid-Patreon, Joe Budden decided to take aim at the community that I've established on Twitter. So now it's only right that I fire back. And I also have to note that I heard Corey laughing in the background. And Corey, you want to know what's beta? Getting fired by your mans and then coming back and acting like nothing happened. Seems real beta to me. And I also have to reiterate that I had that Joe Budden podcast under pressure. I had Ice whining about how I no longer bother him.
That's why his videos don't bother me now. Like I know, he knows I don't rock with him. He jumped in one of my caffeine joints, said his name. This Danny from the Stop. I said so. All right, and then he left. Like I don't rock with you. I don't respect it. Get your money however you do. Whatever you got to do. You report on everything on us. You want to create narratives. You want to do all of that. That's fine. But I'm not helping you at all.
I had Joe talking about how I've emasculated Ice. And to be honest, the Joe Budden Patreon has been trash. I mean, the other day, Joe Budden confronted me, and he was like, Danny, you don't really listen to the pod no more. I can tell. You be talking about nonsense all the time. How many times are you going to talk about, oh, I went out with the baddies, and I saw the baddies, and we had a good time. And then everybody on the show circled the hell out of you talking about, oh, when Joe's around the baddies. Oh, my God. The only one who keeps it real up there anymore is Ish. And, you know, even a Manny, I'm shocked at you, Playboy. I saw you always why you got to stroke that man's ego? Keep it real with him. Who cares about his night on the town? You guys better start talking about pop culture again because that Patreon is being trashed right now. I just did a skim through it. I skimmed through it. It's been a tough listen, and I ain't here for it. And I also want to say I heard Melissa Ford laughing. She may not have been laughing at me, but it's time. I'm tired of Melissa Ford. The other day we was having a conversation about how hip-hop she is. I'm sorry. Just because she was the hot girl in the videos, I'm not going to acquiesce to her. She's not Angie freaking Martinez. She's not Wendy Williams. She is beautiful. That's why she was in those spaces. So what? Now Tyson Beckford knows a lot of hip hop because he knew Sex Money Murder and he was in the videos and he was in the Coca-Cola commercial. Get that crap out of here. I'm sick of these guys acting like they the sole contributors of hip hop. Joe Budden, don't be mad at me because I made it past 6th grade. Don't be mad at me because I don't hide under girls' bed. Wait, let me stop. Because there's still more to talk about here.
Should we pause
This guy
and say
was-
something?
we might have to
We
pause
might have to
before we
pause
get
and say
copyright
something
strike.
because it's been about 3 minutes. But now this is hilarious.
Yeah, that's what I'm
This
saying.
is great. Like, and I feel like Danny's like the monkey's just off his back now.
Yeah,
It's just,
yeah.
whew.
'Cause
Like, I
this-
don't have to be
yeah.
as fake anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just maybe as fake.
Because this was bound to happen. But I'm honestly surprised it happened over something so trivial. It's like a nigga saying,
Exactly.
you be bullshitting on Twitter Spaces. Like,
Yeah.
you would think it would take just a little bit more prodding for the nigga to empty the clip like that.
You called him a beta male. It was up after that, nigga.
And then when is the last time that Joe
That's kind of
That's what it is, though. Like, beta male will cause you to empty the clip.
nah.
when it's not enough
What about you, white man?
Nah, definitely not.
But at the same
But I said
time,
you
but
the
it's
light
not
below
enough
for-
sweet coming with that sour. Like, when's the last time Joe Budden was like, yo, shout out to Danny? Like,
he's
you know,
doing good.
it-
Yeah.
like he's, you know,
I think the last time I saw Joe compliment Danny, unless something happened in a Twitter space, was when Danny started doing his runs, doing the in-person interviews.
Yeah.
And he pretty much
Oh, yeah,
mentioned it.
that's
He
true.
was like, "Oh yeah, I do like how he's been. I like how he's been getting out there."
Said he was on the tear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, but that's
That was the
about it.
last one, and that was 2 months ago at least. You
That's
gotta
a long
check.
time.
You gotta
man.
check it every 30
You gotta
days,
check
baby.
in, man. You gotta check at least with a little something.
Especially if I'm talking to you every fucking three, 4 times a week.
And Joe Budden Petty, he don't even like his posts probably, but like, do they
Or-
even follow each other?
Oh, probably. I don't know.
You would think they did.
Yeah, you would think they
right?
do.
Maybe not
Who knows?
anymore.
Exactly.
I don't know. I think Joe
'Cause
Budden-
No.
Joe Budden
this
don't
is
follow
perfect.
beta males.
I
This is
think
perfect.
I think Joe's genuinely hurt. I think sometimes he hears Danny from the Stop Takes and it's like, man, this guy don't even listen to us for real no more.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
See, I
it's
don't
not
have-
pure.
Yeah, and I'm not like a Patreon. I have the base level, but I don't run to the Patreon episodes. I run to the main episodes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can attest to how bad the Patreon.
They
ones
haven't
have
been that great, honestly, lately.
haven't?
Not lately.
Okay.
You've been rethinking your subscription?
No, I'm gonna keep it. It's still base
But
level
it's-
shit. But the thing is, he's talking about upping the price on it now, and I'm like,
Yeah, that
For
is.
what?
Yeah.
now
yeah.
it's starting to get a little shaky.
You're
You
supposed to
know what
up
I'm
the price
saying?
when it's hot.
when it's
He
hot.
had a
Yeah.
chance to up it because there was a moment I was like, these episodes going crazy.
Yeah, true.
What's a good Patreon episode to you?
One where it feels like a Patreon episode where I'm getting more than I would get on a live show. I'm getting
Yeah.
more raw talk.
Yeah.
Like
They're
more-
going further.
They're going
Yeah,
further.
they're going further.
They're going further.
Okay.
All jokes go 2 more
Yeah,
levels.
yeah.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
like it's really. Let's just go ahead and go there, nigga. You know?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And that's a little bit easier for us to do because our podcast is about, podcasting. So when we, off the cuff riffing, we can literally talk about anything in the world.
Well, that's
as
the thing-
opposed to them always talking about the world or what's going on in their lives on both platforms.
Yeah, and I think also the Patreon people, they are expecting a deeper level of
Vulnerability?
Analysis.
vulnerability and like inner working conversation too. Like his audience is. I feel like the Patreon niggas are more adjusted to where like when we're having contract arguments, you need to be on the Patreon to hear that. You know, like
Okay, okay.
that's how Joe's Patreon feels. Exclusive content. Inner working conversations, real inner thing.
Real
we
inner
might get a
working.
look. We gonna get that on the regular show too, but it's
But maybe some life problems.
yeah.
Like,
some
do they
shit-
get into like life problems?
I'm sure, yeah.
Menopause,
I've
nigga?
only started being on the Patreon since we did our episode, honestly. So
Okay.
I don't. That's just been going strong for years.
And
I don't,
yeah.
I don't know what. It's
And I'm
been
only like
before.
base level, so there could be like on the higher tier, they could be having like crazy conversations. I
Yeah.
don't know about it. You know what I mean?
Because he got the $25 level, I think, or the 50.
Yeah, I think he got a 50.
Yeah.
What could be
At
on
that $50
higher
level, nigga, he better be as funny as Schultz.
Oh man,
That's crazy.
that was a crazy one. Yeah,
That's a good one.
that was
That's
a
a
good
good
one.
one.
That was a good.
I'm never gonna be invited to a Twitter space.
Nigga, it's
Wow.
not even a rim shot. It's a gut shot.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
He said you gonna get him back.
But yeah, man, Danny went 10 toes on this bitch. I ain't mad at it. I like this shit. Isn't it so funny how like Danny, in my mind, I'm just like ready for him to curse.
Yeah.
But he'll say something like, "What the freak, man?"
He keeps it clean. He keeps it clean,
I
which I
love
like.
that shit. I love that.
It adds more personality.
It does,
It
bro.
does.
I wonder if he ever thought this day was coming. Like I love this guy, but now I hate him.
He
Oh, no,
knew
for
it was
sure.
coming.
'Cause
Of course,
you know-
this was bound to happen.
This is not the first time.
Because of
I feel like this ain't even the first hit.
Yeah. It won't be the last.
It won't be the last. This is
They're
just
gonna get cool again, and then
Yeah.
it's gonna be the spin cycle. But I think Danny might eventually get tired of it and start covering Charlamagne the God
He already did.
predominantly.
Joe Budden.
Oh, okay.
You can be in the spaces talking about no small talk, nigga.
yeah.
Right.
Macro conversations.
Right.
And it's gonna get grimy.
You watched that. You listened to that whole thing, right?
Like more than halfway.
Okay.
More than halfway for sure.
But yeah, man, this video is fantastic. If anybody else wants to see it, I'm gonna have it linked in the comments. Does anybody else have anything on this?
Oh man, does he go any deeper? Pause.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Does he go any further? Is he any funnier?
Yes. It continues to get fun.
Let's just play it. Let's just play it.
This does keep getting funnier.
This is partially Joe's fault though. Cause that whole shit he did trying to put Chigs and Danny against each other.
We never got to cover that.
We didn't get
because
to cover
were
it
in
properly.
LA.
But at that point, I was like, "Yo, Joe was bored." And he was like, "All right, let me just see what's in my notes."
Because when I started,
of ideas I've had.
100%. Because when I was listening to it, I was like, "Oh, he's really just wants to pawn these niggas around. Like he's pawning them right now."
Yeah.
Because there was no definite issue that he could even like, all right, you feel this way about this, you feel this way about this. He was
Yeah.
kind of like, all right, so what's you guys' problem?
Yeah, you guys don't like each other, right?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
what's up? Yeah. Like, yo, Chigs, you called him a bitch ass nigga before he logged in, right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
But Danny does. Yeah, hip play.
Oh yeah, y'all want to hear this?
Yeah, hear a little bit more.
I'm gonna give it up, but you have to be sure it doesn't make it to YouTube. What kind of crap is that? Take that BS to these other platforms that acquiesce to your needs. Stop trying to do that. The movement is not genuine. And I think you really showed yourself. You showed your hand, bro. This is why I had to fall back. And now you've gone back to bleeping my name out. Salute to you. I think that's dope, though. It makes me the boogeyman of the Joe Budden podcast. I've accomplished a lot over these last few years. Some might call this a crash out. I don't think it's a crash out. I'm measured in my tone. I've interviewed people. I've done things that I've been shocked at.
Danny, what the? You just speaking Italian just now? What the hell was that?
You just match my
Some
measured in my
people call this a
tone.
crash out, but I don't think it is. I'm measured with my tone.
You sound like the Don.
He has like the
It's funny that he's telling us what he's doing.
Yeah,
That is hilarious. bro. Like,
Yeah, he's getting ahead of the narrative.
yeah, that is funny as shit.
But yeah, nah. Is it just me or is Danny's voice different every time on every different platform?
It does vary a little bit.
Because I feel like when he be interviewing niggas, it's more of a like a.
You know how it be.
But in
Mike's
his videos, it's
playing
Danny
that
from the
should be.
yeah.
That is true because he's not using the same mic interviewing. Yeah, everything does sound different. Depending
Everything
on when
sound
Yeah, that's
different.
true. When you
Depending on
bounce
how much he hates the person. He's
If
talking
nigga,
about,
the
too.
color of his beanie that he wears probably changes his tone of voice, nigga. Danny seems like that type of guy. Because didn't he change his glasses in this interview?
and not in this one.
And not in the, but he did.
He did. He put like I think
not
he put
these,
his
this one.
regular glasses on. I think. Yeah.
Yo, Danny got a 10 fade. He probably sound like you.
Yeah, or you, nigga.
But yeah, man, make sure y'all watch that whole thing.
Never.
Do y'all want to go look at that Danny versus shit? It's so old though, you know. I don't want. And then you know what? Let's not.
It
do
was
that.
funny. It was funny because
Danny versus Chig sounds right.
I saw a side of Chigs I never thought I would see.
Yeah, let's talk about
It was some
Chigs-
bitch ass niggas in
Yeah,
there and
let's
all
go. Let's
that.
talk
I was
about
like,